I learned an explanation about super speed, and I don't know if you looked on the TikTok likes recently on the Red
I
Light
haven't.
Homies page. Go follow it.
Go follow.
I started liking one of my favorite creators on there. I can never remember his name, but he posts up old superhero cartoons or Pokemon cartoons or Yu-Gi-Oh cartoons or just animes.
Yeah.
And he does like funny voiceovers replacing whatever.
I've seen a couple of those. Not from the page, but just in my own watching.
He did one where Batman was talking about how he'd want super speed. And Superman and Flash were like, no, super speed is the worst power ever. And he was like, why? You could like run to Antarctica and back just like that. It's like, yeah, your perception is we are running to Antarctica and back in 1 second. But our perception is we're just having a Sunday stroll. So they're just literally walking to Antarctica.
Yeah.
You know, just imagine walking to Antarctica. And the way Flash said it, he was like, days turn into months. Months turn into years. I've lost all of my self-worth.
I mean, if we're going through like what is that, the comic version, because the way the live action is always represented as is while everything is slow, so are you in a sense.
Well, I know.
Like anytime you've seen like a close up of the Flash running, he's always running in slow motion, but everything by him is just zooming on by.
The first scene I think of is Justice League, where Bruce throws a batarang at Flash, and then, you know, the lightning and everything slows down and he's moving normally.
Yeah.
That would be my perception of what super speed is.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the DC, or no, that's not DC. The other version, the X-Men version, with Quicksilver, yeah. And
is he not just moving normal too?
I couldn't tell from the cinematic universe side of it because in what was it, Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
The house blowing up scene, he at both times was moving normally and also moving quickly.
I never noticed that.
Always moving fast.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that until now. Is that a continuity issue with like realistically portraying super speed? Because you're right. There'd be times where he'd be just walking and like moving people, and then he would super speed while everything was still moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
So I guess if we take that as that, super speed isn't really that overrated.
Yeah.
But it's like, even then, how can you control it? You know?
I don't know, because I mean the Flash has made a good point, like Flashpoint, that like he was stuck in the super speed mode, so everything else around him was just kind of frozen. Either it was that, or he was using a lot more energy to be faster, while everything was basically just frozen. But it seems like it could go both ways. Like, sure, you could days, be extra long because you are technically just moving at your own pace to Alaska and back or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you wouldn't necessarily have to slow down your perception depending on what route you take.
Well, I guess
speed up your perception.
If you're like Dash from Incredibles, and you're just running in a straight line, I guess you don't really need to perceive everything around you.
Yeah, but as nothing's in front of you. If you have an open path.
Yeah, but that's a problem, because you could be just, mountains, whatever. You just go on top of them. But if you see like you pass and all of a sudden there's an interstate, that's head-on collision with you fucking A-train someone's girl.
I was going to say A-train.
A-train someone's girl and just explode them. I mean, that's not. Then you got to run the rest. Then you got to run the rest of the way. You got to run the rest.
Run the rest of the way.
All bloody with guts and flesh on you.
But there's also taking into account the fact that he's vibrating, so that could shake off some of it, or just wind resistance knocking off the rest.
Have you seen Zoom? Do you remember Zoom?
Zoom is in like the Flash,
the Tim Allen superhero movie.
No.
where he plays a speedster. The only scene I remember is him holding up his finger and he vibrates his finger like as fast as he can. He said, I can move my whole body like this.
Apparently it's on Netflix, so I might just have to cop a little watch, see what happens.
It's awful. Honestly, that might be a movie where we make that little commentary track that we were talking about.